Chapter 1. The Morning Waters of Lake Texcoco ***. You wake to the gentle rustle of reeds brushing against the sides of your canoe, the faint swaying sound blending with the rhythmic lapping of water against the wooden hull, creating a melody as old as the lake itself. The air is cool, crisp, and alive with the scent of water lilies mingled with the earthy fragrance of fertile mud, the breath of the land and water entwined. Around you, Lake Texcoco stretches endlessly, its surface smooth and dark like polished obsidian, mirroring the tender shades of pink and gold that paint the dawn sky. The morning mist rises in soft curls from the surface, drifting upward like the quiet exhalation of the gods, wrapping you in a world where time feels distant and slow. Your canoe, carved from the trunk of an ancient cypress by the skilled hands of the Tlachiqueros, glides effortlessly between the chinampas, floating gardens that have fed your people for generations. These long, rectangular islands rise gently from the water, their edges bound with reeds, their deep, black soil enriched by the gifts of Tlaloc, the rain god who blesses the earth with life. You lower your hand into the lake's embrace, feeling the silky touch of green algae slip between your fingers. The water is perfectly tempered, neither cool nor warm, a balance that feels like the gentle arms of Calcaitlacue, the jade-skirted goddess of rivers and lakes. Small fish dart beneath the surface, flashes of silver catching the first rays of sunlight filtering through the soft morning clouds, vanishing as quickly as they appear. The nearest chinampa is a quilt of green and gold. Tall maize stalks stand in neat rows, their leaves rustling softly in the breeze. Between them, the vines of beans spiral upward in patient curls, while at their base, broad squash leaves stretch outward, shading and protecting the soil. The three sisters, maize, beans, and squash, grow in harmony, each supporting the others, just as they have since the time of your ancestors. From somewhere across the water comes the faint, sweet perfume of cacao flowers, a scent delicate yet intoxicating. You close your eyes for a moment, breathing it in, and it carries you to the memory of sacred drinks shared in quiet ceremonies, thick and rich and meant for honoring the divine. The flowers themselves are tiny and pale, clinging directly to the trunks of cacao trees that line the edges of certain gardens, each bloom like a small secret kept between the plant and the morning. A heron steps carefully along the muddy shore of a nearby island, its long legs moving with slow, deliberate grace. It pauses, head tilted to one side, listening to something beyond your hearing before continuing its patient hunt. There is a wisdom in its stillness, a harmony in its movements, as if it understands the rhythm of water and sky better than any human could. Beneath your canoe, the water remains clear enough to see whole schools of fish no longer than your thumb, each one gliding in perfect synchronization with the others. They turn as one body, scales flashing silver and gold like 1,000 tiny mirrors reflecting the brightening day. Occasionally, a larger shadow passes, perhaps a white fish, perhaps a carp, swimming with unhurried confidence, ruler of this quiet domain. Far along the shore, other canoes begin to stir into the day. Farmers paddle toward their chinampas, the sound of wooden paddles slicing through the water creating a steady, meditative percussion that blends with the calls of distant birds and the sigh of the wind through the reeds. These are the same motions, the same sounds, repeated for generations, each stroke of the paddle connecting you to an unbroken chain of mornings stretching deep into the past. As you watch the slow ballet of people and water, you feel a weight less calm, as if the lake itself has wrapped you in its patience and will hold you here as long as you wish. And if this journey into the heart of the dawn has brought you a moment of peace, let it linger within you, and gently, when you're ready, tap like and subscribe, so you can return to these waters whenever your heart needs stillness. The lake will always be here, waiting, under the soft light of the next morning sky. The reed beds sway gently, their long green stems brushing against one another in a soft, almost secret conversation. Each movement creates the faintest whispering sound, a language older than memory, as if the lake itself is breathing through them. These tall grasses, some rising well above a person's head, are not merely plants, but living walls of the lake's kingdom, shelters for countless birds, frogs, and insects. You imagine tiny nests tucked safely among the stalks, and small ripples forming in the hidden shallows where fish and turtles pass unseen. Beneath the water's surface, the roots of the reeds reach down and intertwine, gripping the lake bed and binding the edges of the chinampas together. They hold the soil in place, preventing erosion, creating natural green boundaries between the floating gardens. A quiet, constant guardianship that has lasted for generations. You notice that the morning flowers have begun to wake, opening themselves to the gentle light of dawn. On the still, dark water, The broad pads of water lilies float like emerald coins. From their centers, tiny white blossoms unfurl, petal by petal, their golden yellow hearts glowing softly like miniature suns. Some still hold the shimmer of the lake's mist on their petals, tiny droplets catching the light. The lily pads themselves are sturdy, offering stepping stones for water birds who pause to rest, while their thick stems disappear into the green depths, tethering them firmly to the lake floor. The sight feels both fragile and eternal, a cycle that repeats each morning without fail. A soft breeze drifts across the water, carrying with it the distant sound of temple bells from Tenochtitlan. Their deep bronze tones roll slowly over the lake, echoing between the reed beds and the chinampas, until they seem to come from everywhere at once. The sound is not urgent, nor is it a call to action. It is instead a gentle reminder of connection to the city, to the ancestors, to the sacred mountains that stand watch in the distance. The bells' voices feel like a blessing, or perhaps a quiet acknowledgement that you are part of something much greater than yourself. Your canoe continues its slow drift, guided not by the paddle, but by the soft, invisible hands of the current. The motion is so subtle you almost cannot feel it, yet it rocks you in a rhythm that is as natural as a heartbeat. It is the same movement that a child feels in the arms of a loving mother, patient, unhurried, and endlessly comforting. Your muscles respond instinctively, loosening one by one. Your shoulders release their tension. Your arms grow heavy. Your back sinks more comfortably into the woven reed mat that lines the bottom of the canoe. Every small movement of water against what seems to tell your body that here you are safe. All around you, the lake is alive, not with noise or chaos, but with the quiet industry of creatures who belong to this place. Water striders dance across the surface, their thin legs dimpling the water into small, perfect circles that expand outward in silence. Dragonflies hover and dart above the lily pads, their wings like transparent glass catching the sunlight, their jewel-toned bodies shimmering with every shift of angle. A kingfisher flashes past in a streak of blue, vanishing into the reeds as quickly as it appeared. Each creature moves with purpose, but without urgency, as though they all know there is time enough for everything. The rising sun begins to burn away the mist, revealing more of the great network of chinampas that stretches to the horizon. Row after row of floating gardens lie neatly arranged, their green abundance divided by narrow canals of sea. Clear water. The geometry is simple but perfect. Long rectangles bordered with reeds and willows, forming a living mosaic across the lake's surface. Farmers tend to them quietly in the distance, their movements small against the vastness of the scene. You realize that each one of these gardens is a piece of a much larger whole, feeding not just families, but the great heart of Tenochtitlan itself. The air is rich with the scent of earth, dark, fertile soil made from layers of lake mud and decayed plants. It is soil so full of life that crops grow strong and tall, their roots drinking deeply from both water and history. The people here have long worked in partnership with the natural rhythms of the lake, letting the seasonal floods renew the gardens, returning what was taken and ensuring the cycle continues unbroken. A family of ducks glides past your canoe, the adults moving with stately calm, their heads held high, while their ducklings dart and dive playfully around them. The little ones are covered in soft golden fluff, their quick movements sending out tiny ripples that sparkle in the light. They make soft peeping calls to each other, their voices joining the quiet morning symphony of water, wind, and birdsong. The temperature is perfect, a delicate balance between cool shade and the warming kiss of sunlight on your face. It feels as though the day itself has been shaped for comfort, a blessing from Tonediu, the sun god, welcoming you to another cycle of life. You notice your eyelids growing heavier, not from weariness, but from the deep contentment of being in complete harmony with your surroundings. The gentle sway of the canoe, the constant soft sound of water brushing against wood, the faint fragrance of flowers and soil, all of it blends into a single current of peace flowing through you. The water's soft percussion against the hull is a lullaby older than any song, a rhythm born from the meeting of wind and lake. You let yourself sink into the moment, drifting not only over the water, but into a place inside yourself where all is still and calm. Your breathing slows to match the gentle pulse of the waves, each inhale carrying the sense of morning, each exhale releasing the last of the night's restlessness. As the sun climbs higher, the lake's colors deepen into golds and turquoises, the water shimmering as though lit from within. In this light, every reed, every ripple, every drifting cloud seems touched with quiet divinity. You feel your sense of self dissolve into the scene, becoming not a visitor but a part of the lake itself. And if this journey through the morning waters has brought you even the smallest measure of peace, Remember that you can return here to this same calm, this same gentle embrace whenever you wish. All it takes is a breath and perhaps a gentle touch to like and subscribe, so the path to these waters is always waiting for you. Your eyelids grow heavy once more. The whispers of the reeds turn to a soft song in the background of your mind, and the lake carries you slowly, tenderly toward rest. You drift, and the world drifts with you into a deep, unbroken sleep, held forever in the quiet arms of Lake Texcoco. Chapter 2. Among the gardens of Xochimilco. You awaken slowly, your senses gently stirring, as if the very air around you is coaxing you back into the waking world. The light is softer now, golden and warm, filtering through the trailing branches of willows that stand like ancient guardians along the banks. Their long, delicate tendrils sweep across the water's surface in slow, graceful arcs, creating ripples that shimmer and fade into the stillness. Somewhere in the distance, you hear the faint call of a bird, low and melodic, blending perfectly into the serene morning. You realize that your canoe has drifted, carrying you away from Lake Texcoco and into the peaceful channels of Xochimilco. Here, the chinampas, the floating gardens of your ancestors, spread out in an intricate living labyrinth. Narrow waterways weave between them like silver threads, guiding you past patches of green, gold, and red. Each plot of land a careful masterpiece of human hands working in harmony with the water. The air here feels different, softer, scented with flowers, damp soil, and the sweetness of ripening fruit. Your canoe glides forward without effort, the wooden hull parting the water in perfect silence. To your left, a great expanse of blooms greets you, a chinampa dedicated entirely to flowers. Rows upon rows of bright marigolds stretch from the water's edge toward the heart of the garden, their petals glowing as if they hold fragments of the sun itself. These sacred sympassical asterisk flowers are not only beautiful, they are offerings, destined to be laid upon altars, scattered in temple courtyards, woven into garlands to honor the spirits of the departed. The breeze stirs their petals, and a wave of their warm, honeyed fragrance drifts toward you. Kneeling among the marigolds is a woman, her back slightly bent with age, but her movements steady and full of purpose. Her hands are darkened by the good earth, and each gesture is deliberate, removing a spent bloom here, adjusting a stem there. She tends her flowers the way a mother tends her children, gently, lovingly, without haste. You notice how she hums softly under her breath, a tune so faint you can barely hear it, as if singing directly to the plants. Between the marigolds, you see patches of lilies. Their petals are white, shaped like polished jade carvings, their fragrance delicate yet deeply soothing. The scent mingles with the earthy perfume of the soil and the sweetness of the flowers around them. Further along, purple morning glories climb wooden stakes, their trumpet-shaped blossoms opening wide to greet the sun. Their deep violet hue contrasts beautifully with the warm tones of the marigolds, creating a tapestry of living color. Your canoe drifts onward, and you pass a series of smaller chinampas. Each one carries a unique bounty. Neat rows of chili peppers, their glossy skins catching the light. Some green and sharp, others brilliant red and full of fire. There are tiny peppers no bigger than your fingernail, and long, curling ones that sway gently in the breeze. Their fragrance is subtle yet distinct, carrying a faint spiciness that lingers in the air. On another garden, you see tomatoes growing low to the ground, their vines heavy with clusters of small, round fruit that gleam like drops of crimson jade. The breeze shifts, and once again the intoxicating scent of cacao flowers drifts toward you. Along the edge of several chinampas, tall cacao trees rise gracefully, their smooth trunks dotted with pods in every stage of ripeness. Some are small, green, and firm, clinging tightly to the bark. Others are plump and turning yellow, and still others have ripened to a deep reddish brown. You can almost taste the sacred drink they will one day become, the thick, rich chocolate prepared for seer. Moneys and gatherings, sweetened with honey, spiced with chili. As you watch, a great blue heron stands in the shallows between two gardens, still as a sculpture. Its long neck curves elegantly, its body perfectly balanced, and only its piercing yellow eyes move, scanning the water for the flash of a passing fish. You find yourself slowing your own breathing, matching its stillness, as if learning patience from this feathered teacher. Somewhere far ahead, you hear the faint dip and pull of wooden paddles, other canoes making their way along the channels. Farmers guide their boats expertly, transporting bundles of fresh vegetables, fragrant herbs, and flowers. Their movements are smooth, practiced over a lifetime, and the sound of paddle against water becomes part of the gentle rhythm of the morning. The sun now stands higher, and light scatters across the water's surface in 1,000 shifting patterns. Willows sway gently. Birds call softly from their hidden perches. A dragonfly hovers near your hand for a moment, its wings catching the light like shards of turquoise glass before darting away. Every detail here feels alive yet unhurried, as if time itself has slowed to match the pace of the water. You lean back slightly, letting the warmth of the sun seep into your skin and the cool scent of the water fill your lungs. A deep, unshakable calm settles over you. You feel connected not only to the gardens and the water, but to the countless generations who have moved through these channels before you. And as you drift past another garden where lilies open wide to the sky, you hear a quiet reminder within yourself. If this journey brings you peace, if these waters and gardens feel like a safe place for your spirit, then let others find it too. Gently, almost like part of the dream you remember, you can show your support by liking this channel and subscribing so you can return here again, to drift once more among the chinampas, to hear the water song, to rest beneath the willows. You close your eyes for a moment, letting the motion of the canoe and the sounds of the gardens guide you deeper into relaxation. The water laps softly. A breeze carries the scent of flowers and earth. Somewhere, the heron lifts into the air with slow, powerful wing beats, and you follow it in your mind, soaring above the golden marigolds, above the glistening channels, above a world still bathed in morning light. The canoe rocks gently, and you breathe in and out, sinking deeper into a state of peace. The gardens pass by quietly, their beauty endless, their harmony unbroken, and you drift. The water around you teems with gentle life, a living tapestry of movement and light. Schools of tiny fish weave intricate patterns just beneath the shimmering surface, their silvered bodies catching the sun in brief, brilliant flashes. Each turn, each dart, is like a stroke of living calligraphy written in liquid silver, ever shifting, never repeating, hypnotic in its perfection. You watch as they scatter and reform, like clouds blown by an invisible wind. Occasionally, a larger fish disrupts the stillness, rising suddenly to snatch a drifting insect, breaking the surface with a quiet splash, sending a perfect ring of ripples radiating outward, expanding in flawless mathematical harmony until they dissolve back into stillness. To your left, a chinampa rises from the water. On it, corn stalks stand tall and proud in neat, unwavering rows, their green blades whispering softly as the breeze moves through them. The ears are full and heavy, sheathed in husks that rustle faintly like distant rain. But what draws your gaze are the colors: white, golden yellow, brick red, midnight blue, even deep purple so dark it seems almost black. Each hue carries the memory of centuries of patient cultivation, the quiet genius of ancestors who shaped these seeds into gifts of endless sustenance. Each color holds its own sacred meaning. Yellow for the sun's warmth, red for life's blood, white for purity and renewal, blue for the sacred rain, purple for the mystery of the night sky. Between the corn rows, bean plants spiral upward, their green tendrils wrapping gracefully around the sturdy corn stalks for support. Broad, heart-shaped leaves overlapping like the tiles of an emerald roof. The bean pods hang in pairs and clusters, some still young, tender and green, others dry and papery, holding seeds the color of polished wood. This is one of the great harmonies of the garden, the corn offering strength and height, the beans giving back their invisible gift to the soil, restoring the very life that the corn draws upon. A cycle as old as the people themselves. At the base of the corn, squash plants spread outward in sprawling networks of thick vines and immense leaves. Their canopy shades the soil, holding in precious moisture. Under the leaves, you see bursts of golden orange blossoms, large, soft, and glowing in the morning light. You know that these flowers are not only beautiful but nourishing, treasured in kitchens and feasts. The squashes themselves take many forms, some round and green-striped, others long and smooth-skinned, others still fat and ribbed like the folds of a drum. Some will be eaten while tender, others stored for the dry season when their sweetness deepens. Even the seeds, glistening like tiny white moons, will be roasted and salted, a food for both celebration and quiet evenings. You pass another chinampa where amaranth rises in breathtaking abundance. Tall stalks crowned with great plumes of crimson and deep magenta. Their flowers seem almost aflame in the sunlight, catching and holding the eye. The seeds, impossibly small, are a treasure in themselves, rich with nourishment, able to be ground into fine flour or popped into tiny white grains that crackle between the teeth. In the temple, These seeds will be mixed with honey to form offerings for the gods. And in the homes of the people, they will be made into nourishing cakes for children and elders alike. Amaranth's beauty and usefulness make it a sacred presence in the garden. Food for the body, offering for the spirit. The irrigation channels between the chinampas are as alive and beautiful as the gardens themselves. Their water runs clear, reflecting the blue expa. In a sea of the sky, the drifting shapes of clouds, and the green lace of overhanging plants. Minnows and tiny crustaceans dart here and there, shimmering like sparks in the dappled light. You can see the careful design that has shaped these waterways, engineered by hands that understood water's will, always guiding it to move gently, never stagnating, never flooding, ensuring every plant receives the life it needs. A breeze moves through the gardens, stirring the willows that lean over the channels. Their branches trail in the water, swaying like the hair of a sleeping goddess. Cypress trees stand taller, more solemn, their roots gripping the banks like great wooden hands. Together, they form living windbreaks that protect the delicate crops. Their shade is a gift to farmers during the bright heat of day, and their branches shelter countless nests. The air is alive with the sound of unseen wings and soft birdsong, a chorus of morning that blends with the water's murmur. You drift past tomato plants heavy with fruit, the vines bending under the weight of their harvest. Some tomatoes are tiny, bright like drops of sunlight, others large, smooth, and deep red, glowing with stored warmth. You see green fruit still ripening, yellow ones almost ready, and others so red they seem to invite you to bite into them on the spot. Their flavors will range from sharp and acidic, waking the tongue, to soft and sweet, almost like fruit from an orchard. These too are gifts of the ancestors, bred with care to bring joy to every meal. Scattered throughout the gardens are chili peppers of every kind imaginable, from the glossy, deep green poblanos that add rich warmth to stews, to the tiny, fire-red pekins whose heat can bring tears with a single bite. Some are long and twisted like coiled serpents, others plump and smooth as beads of coral. Their purposes are many: seasoning daily meals, spicing ceremonial feasts, and even serving as medicine to warm the body and heal ailments. Each variety has its own story, its own reason for existing in this vast tapestry of life. The tools here are simple but shaped with perfection for their tasks. Wooden digging sticks blackened at the tips from fire hardening. Light enough to use all day, strong enough to pierce the lake bed. Woven baskets made from reeds and grasses, each strand placed by a patient hand, stone knives polished smooth by years of work. All bear the mark of a people who do not fight their land but move with it, adapting, shaping, listening. As your canoe drifts on, a profound stillness settles over you. Not the stillness of absence, but the stillness of belonging. Every plant, every stone, every curl of a leaf carries the memory of generations. The unbroken thread of knowledge passed from hand to hand, season to season. You feel yourself joining that thread, not as an outsider, but as part of the great weaving. The sun has climbed higher now, yet the air remains fresh, cooled by the lake's gentle breath. The light glitters on the ripples, warms your skin without burning. You lean back against the woven reed mat of your canoe, feeling the water cradle you like a mother's arms. All around you life flourishes, not in chaos, but in a quiet, deliberate harmony. And in that moment, you understand, this is not just a garden. It is a living prayer, a gift to the people and to the gods, a promise renewed with each seed planted, each harvest gathered. The floating gardens of Xochimilco are not simply food. They are the beating heart of a world where land and water, human and nature, live as one. A subtle, almost imperceptible current begins to turn your canoe, spinning you slowly and gently in the quiet embrace of the channel. With each gradual rotation, new perspectives unfold before your eyes, each view revealing some hidden aspect of the gardens. Here, a row of maize stalks bends lightly in the breeze, their tassels swaying like golden feathers. There, a cluster of tomato plants glistens in the sun, their fruits hanging like ornaments in red, yellow, and green. Every shift in your vantage point seems to reveal a new story, a fresh example of your ancestors' ingenuity in cultivating life upon water. Nothing here feels contrived or imposed. Rather, the gardens and the waterways appear as if they have always existed, like living entities grown from the lake's own heart. The woven willow fences, the anchored posts, the rich soil mounded above the water, all blend into a seamless unity that could easily be mistaken for the work of divine hands. The sounds around you are the music of tranquility itself. The water laps softly against the canoe's hull with a rhythmic hush, as if whispering to the earth. Corn leaves rustle with a sound like distant rain, and the breeze moves through them in slow, sweeping sighs. Somewhere far off, a bird calls, its voice rising and fading like a note in a lullaby. Together, these sounds weave a symphony not meant to stir action, but to deepen stillness. Your eyelids grow heavy, not from fatigue, but from the gentle weight of peace settling over you. You trail one hand in the warm, silky water, feeling its steady pull. It moves with purpose, flowing from Chinampa to Chinampa, a living artery that carries more than just moisture. It carries life itself. Tiny fish dart between your fingers, their scales flashing in brief bursts of silver. The current nourishes the crops, keeps the soil moist, and allows fish and birds to move freely between islands. Everything here is bound in an intricate web of connection. Water to soil, soil to plant, plant to people, people to water again. The afternoon light begins to slant, filtering through the long willow branches that sweep the water's surface. Shadows stretch across the channels like dark ribbons, their slow movement marking the quiet passing of time. Your breathing falls into sync with the rippling water, each inhale and exhale matching the rhythm of this floating world. Your heartbeat slows until it feels like it is beating in unison with the gardens themselves, as if you, too, are part of this ancient design. The scents here are as rich as the sights and sounds. The aroma of freshly turned soil blends with the sweetness of ripening fruit, the green scent of leaves, and the faint perfume of blossoms. It is the fragrance of harmony, of earth and water, of cultivation and patience, of abundance that comes from respect for the land. You breathe it in deeply, letting it fill you with a sense of grounding and continuity. The sun moves higher, then slowly begins its descent. The water and gardens shift in color, now glowing gold, now deepening to amber, now touched with the first cool blues of evening. Light and shadow play across every leaf and petal, turning the Chinampas into a living, breathing mosaic. Your eyes grow heavy again. The water's gentle lap becomes a lullaby, the warmth of the day a soft blanket over your body. As your canoe drifts lazily between the floating gardens, the world narrows to the quiet murmur of water and the tender hum of life around you. Soon you surrender to it entirely. Your thoughts dissolve, replaced by the steady rhythm of breath and wave. The floating gardens fade into dream, and you drift into a deep, unbroken sleep, wrapped in the timeless embrace of Xochimilco. Chapter 3: The Sacred Cenote Asterisk. When you awaken, you are somewhere else. The canoe is gone. You are now lying upon a small raft woven from reeds, and you are floating in the still, crystalline waters of a cenote, a sacred sinkhole where the skin of the earth opens to reveal its hidden heart. The world here is a perfect circle. A ring of sheer limestone walls rises around you, 30 feet high, enclosing the pool like a protective embrace. Their surfaces are softened by cascades of green, delicate ferns that spill over ledges, their fronds swaying in the faint breath of air that filters down from above. Long vines, draped like living ropes, descend from the rim, some touching the water's surface, others hanging in midair. Overhead, the opening is another circle, a clear, flawless window of blue sky. The sun peers directly down through it, its light falling in slow-moving shafts that turn the water to liquid crystal. It feels as though the heavens themselves are gazing into this hidden place. Beneath your raft, the water is impossibly clear. You can see to the bottom, 40 feet below, where fine white sand lies undisturbed except for smooth, ancient stones arranged by nature into a mosaic. The light that filters through the pool turns every grain into something luminous. Shadows of fish drift lazily across the sand, their movements slowed by the optical magic of the depths. The limestone walls have been shaped over countless centuries by the patient work of underground rivers. Their surfaces bear the marks of time. Scalloped shelves, sharp overhangs, and pockets carved like bowls. Many of these ledges hold offerings left by generations long past. You see small jade figures, each polished by handling and time, their expressions serene. Obsidian blades rest beside ceramic vessels that may once have held honey, oils, or sacred cacao. Clay incense burners are blackened with the memory of copal smoke, still faintly fragrant in the warm air. Plants cling to the vertical stone where no soil should exist, miniature gardens in impossible places. Maidenhair ferns grow in airy curtains, their fine leaves trembling with the slightest movement of air. Tiny orchids, in colors that burn like flame, gold, crimson, deep magenta, bloom from narrow cracks in the rock. Pale tendrils of Spanish moss hang from above, framing the sky's blue eye with a fringe of silver green. The surface of the water is still enough to be a mirror. You can see your own reflection with perfect clarity, and behind it, the reflection of the sky ring, the green curtains of plants, the pale stone walls. It feels as though you are suspended between two worlds, the one above and its perfect twin below. Even the smallest disturbance, the passing of a fish, the drop of water from a fern, sends ripples spiraling outward in slow, mesmerizing patterns. Somewhere above, a spring feeds the cenote. Water drips with deliberate, meditative precision from the limestone ledges, each drop falling like a note in an eternal composition. The sound is unchanging and yet never the same, a pattern too vast for human understanding. It is the heartbeat of this place, the slow breath of the earth itself. You close your eyes and listen, and for a long moment you are not floating upon water at all. You are floating inside time. Far below the surface, hidden in the mysterious depths, you see the shadowed entrances to vast underwater passages, dark and silent openings carved by time itself into the limestone bedrock beneath the Yucatan Peninsula. These ancient tunnels form a sprawling labyrinth, a secret network of subterranean rivers that intertwine beneath the earth like veins of liquid crystal. It is said that these hidden waterways connect every cenote across the land, creating an invisible channel where the spirits of ancestors drift silently, journeying between the world of the living and the sacred realm of the dead. This underground river system pulses quietly, a timeless conduit between realms, carrying with it the whispers of the past and the mysteries of life beyond the veil. Above you, a single perfect shaft of sunlight pierces through the circular opening in the limestone ceiling, spilling down in a column of pure golden light that reaches the very bottom of the cenote's crystal clear waters. Suspended within this radiant beam, countless tiny particles of limestone dust swirl and shimmer, dancing like a constellation of delicate stars trapped in a miniature galaxy. The light itself seems alive, pulsing gently, breathing with the rhythms of the passing clouds above, transforming this sacred space into a living, breathing cathedral of nature's own making. The air here holds a timeless stillness, warm and constant, untouched by the scorching heat of day or the cool hush of night. The water cradles you perfectly, matching the gentle warmth of your own skin so precisely that floating feels like drifting in a pool of liquid sunlight. Your body surrenders to this embrace, every muscle softening, every trace of tension dissolving as if drawn out by the water's sacred power. Here, in this hidden sanctuary, time itself seems to slow, inviting you to release your burdens and sink deeper into profound peace. In the shadowy depths of the cenote, small freshwater fish glide with slow, graceful movements, their delicate scales catching and refracting the filtered sunlight in muted glimmers of silver and pale gold. These creatures are translucent, adapted over countless generations to the twilight world beneath the Earth's surface, moving with a languid patience that echoes the eternal calm of this place. Along the stone walls where water meets limestone, tiny crabs with shells almost as clear as glass scuttle quietly among the shadows, tending to the microcosm that thrives unseen by most. Their gentle movements weave seamlessly into the ecosystem of the pool, a delicate balance of life where nothing is wasted and all is returned. The acoustics of the cenote enhance every sound, turning even the faintest noise into a sacred hymn. The gentle drip of water from above becomes a rhythmical melody. Your soft breathing transforms into a whispered prayer, and the delicate splash of a fish breaking the surface sends ripples that vibrate not only through the water, but seem to hum in the very air itself. Each sound resonates with reverence, as though the cenote itself listens and responds, holding every note in a holy embrace. When you bring the water to your lips, you notice its clean, cool taste tinged with subtle minerals, pure and refreshing, filtered through miles of limestone bedrock. This water carries the essence of the living earth, charged with healing energy that can purify both body and spirit. Long ago, ancient Maya priests gathered at this very cenote, conducting solemn ceremonies to honor the gods who dwell within its depths. They offered priceless treasures, gold ornaments, finely carved jade jewelry, ceramic vessels brimming with sacred chocolate drinks, and fragrant copal incense that rose in soft spirals through the opening above, carrying prayers skyward. Though centuries have passed, the presence of those offerings lingers still, imbuing the water with sacred memory and divine grace. From the overhanging edges of the cenote hang countless delicate stalactites, some scarcely larger than a finger, others stretching slowly downward over thousands of years. These mineral sculptures, painstakingly formed drop by drop as limestone dissolved in water hardens into stone, are silent monuments to time itself, patient, enduring, infinitely precise. Each formation is a testament to the ceaseless work of nature, building beauty in silence and stillness. The silence within this place is profound, not a hollow void, but a fullness rich with meaning and sacred presence. Here, every breath you take, every beat of your heart, every gentle stir of water against your raft becomes part of a natural meditation. The quiet envelopes you like a soft cloak, calming your thoughts and stilling your spirit until you feel utterly at peace. From time to time, delicate butterflies flutter down from the sunlit world above, their fragile wings catching glimmers of light as they dance gracefully across the water's surface. Some shine with brilliant blue iridescence, others glow a warm golden yellow, and still others are adorned with intricate patterns of black and orange. These ethereal visitors seem like messengers bridging the realms, bringing news of sun, sky, and life to the serene depths below. The play of light changes as the day progresses. Sometimes the sun shines bright and direct, illuminating the walls with radiant clarity. At other times, passing clouds soften the light, diffusing it into a gentle glow. This ever-shifting interplay of brightness and shadow choreographs a slow-motion dance of nature's own design, as if the sun itself performs a sacred ritual for the cenote. As you float in this timeless sanctuary, you feel a deep, unshakable connection to all who have come here before you. Pilgrims, priests, seekers of healing and wisdom. Their prayers, hopes, and offerings have consecrated this water, transforming it from a mere pool into a portal to the divine. Here, the veil between worlds is thin, and the energy of the Earth's core flows freely. Gradually, your sense of separateness begins to dissolve. You are no longer merely a visitor or observer. You become one with the cenote, the water, the stone, the light, the silence. You merge into the eternal cycle of water that flows through all life, becoming part of the great and ancient rhythm that has existed since the dawn of time. Your breathing slows and deepens, synchronizing with the sacred heartbeat of this mystical place. In this profound stillness, suspended between earth and sky, between past and present, you are cradled in the eternal embrace of the cenote, peaceful, whole, and endlessly connected. The mineral-rich waters of the cenote seem to reach deep into your very being, drawing out every impurity, every lingering shadow that weighs upon your body and spirit. With each breath you take, You feel yourself growing lighter, clearer, more transparent, like the pale, translucent fish that glides silently through the shimmering depths below. Your muscles release their last traces of tension, melting away as if dissolved by the water itself. Your mind, too, lets go of all worries and cares, the endless chatter fading until only a serene stillness remains. All that is unnecessary simply dissolves, washed clean by the healing embrace of this sacred pool. Here, time loses its meaning entirely. Minutes stretch into hours, yet the cenote exists beyond the constraints of the clock, floating in a realm where only peace, purity, and profound calm hold sway. You surrender to this timeless sanctuary, allowing yourself to drift not only upon the gentle water, but into a state of consciousness as perfectly clear and still as the pool beneath you. The soft, rhythmic drip of water echoes throughout the cavern, creating a natural cadence that aligns with your own heartbeat, your breathing, the steady flow of life coursing through your veins. It dawns on you that you are not simply floating on water. You are part of a great eternal cycle, a sacred circulation that connects the cenote to all others through vast underground rivers. You are woven into the fabric of a living network, a silent, flowing communion of sacred places and sacred waters. As the golden light filtering from above begins to warm, shifting toward the soft hues of late afternoon, you feel yourself sinking ever deeper into the profound tranquility of this holy place. Your eyelids grow heavy under the tender weight of perfect peace. The cenote cradles you in its timeless embrace, a gentle guardian that soothes and restores. In this stillness you drift, carried softly into a deep, healing sleep, a sleep where the waters of the underworld wash away all that is not essential, leaving behind only purity, rest, and renewal. Chapter 4: The Temple Gardens at Twilight. You awaken slowly, your senses gently drawn open by the serene beauty of the terraced gardens that surround the great temple of Tenochtitlan. The sun is beginning its slow descent toward the distant western mountains, bathing the sky in warm hues of coral and molten gold. Towering above you, the immense pyramid rises like a mountain forged by the hands of gods themselves, its steep steps disappearing into the deepening twilight. Every level of this sacred structure is adorned with masterfully carved serpents and jaguars, their stone eyes seeming to watch with eternal vigilance over the gardens below. Beneath your woven mat, You feel the solid stone of the broad terrace, planted carefully with the empire's most precious flowers and sacred herbs. These gardens are the realm of the priests, caretakers who understand that the gods require more than offerings and sacrifice. They demand beauty, fragrance, and colors that speak the language of the divine. None of these plants are grown for sustenance alone. They are cultivated for their spiritual power, their ability to fill the temple air with scents that please and honor the gods. The air is thick and rich with the intoxicating aroma of copal incense. Sweet resin burns steadily in countless ceramic braziers scattered across the garden terraces. The smoke rises in graceful, thin columns, weaving and curling upward, carrying the prayers and hopes of the people toward the heavens. You breathe deeply, letting the sacred smoke fill your lungs and lighten your spirit with each slow, reverent breath. Along the pathways, clusters of evening primrose bushes stretch their branches, their large white flowers slowly unfurling as dusk settles. These night-blooming blossoms release a delicate fragrance into the cooling air, enticing moths and night-flying insects in the ageless dance of pollination. In the fading light, the flowers seem to glow softly, like tiny moons scattered throughout the garden, guiding the nocturnal visitors in a quiet, magical ballet. High above, on a terrace just beyond your reach, rows of morning glory vines cling to wooden trellises. Though their vivid blue and purple trumpet-shaped flowers have closed with the passing day, their broad, heart-shaped leaves create curtains of living green that rustle gently in the evening breeze. Tomorrow, these same vines will greet the dawn with fresh, vibrant blooms. But for now, they rest in peaceful preparation beneath the twilight sky. At the heart of this sacred terrace, a ceremonial fountain bubbles quietly. It is carved from a single block of dark volcanic stone, its surface etched with intricate images of Tlaloc, the powerful rain god whose tears nourish the earth and bring life to all growing things. Water flows continuously over carved serpents and gleaming jade inlays, filling the garden with a constant, soothing murmur. A liquid song that masks all other sounds and invites a deep sense of calm and contemplation. Priests clad in flowing white cotton robes move silently and with deliberate grace along the winding garden paths, their footsteps muffled by the soft earth beneath. Their faces are painted with sacred symbols, intricate designs rendered in ochre, red, and black. Each mark a sign of devotion, protection, or invocation. They move with the calm precision of those who serve not only the temple but the very spirits that dwell within the sacred grounds. Each gesture is measured, purposeful, almost like a dance choreographed by the unseen hands of the gods themselves. With tender care, they tend the plants as one might care for a living temple. Their fingers gently pluck away wilted or dead flowers, removing what no longer serves the garden's life. Here and there, they adjust tiny irrigation channels, ensuring that the precious water flows evenly through the carefully engineered system. Baskets woven from reeds hold freshly harvested herbs, delicate bundles destined for the sacred fires of tomorrow's ceremonies. The priests move with reverence, their presence adding a profound sanctity to the space, never disturbing the tranquil peace, but instead deepening the sacred atmosphere that blankets the garden like a warm embrace. The garden itself is a masterpiece of perfect symmetry and divine geometry, arranged meticulously around the central fountain that bubbles quietly in the fading light. The entire space is divided into 4 quadrants, each aligned with one of the cardinal directions and symbolized by one of the 4 sacred colors: white, red, yellow, and deep blue, each representing a vital aspect of the divine nature and cosmic balance. To the east, where the sun rises and dawn brings new beginnings, the garden blooms with plants bearing pure white flowers, delicate lilies, jasmine, and other blossoms that symbolize purity, renewal, and the endless promise of the day's first light. The scent here is subtle but uplifting, carrying the quiet hope that each morning offers a fresh start. To the south, vibrant red and orange flowers dominate: flaming marigolds, fiery begonias, and lush dahlias that celebrate the sun at its zenith. The fierce power and vitality of life in full bloom. The air here hums with energy, as if the very petals themselves pulse with the heat and strength of the midday sun. In the western quadrant, the garden shifts to warm hues of yellow and gold. Sunflowers, goldenrod, and chrysanthemums that honor the setting sun and the wisdom that comes with endings and transitions. This area feels calm and contemplative, a place for reflection and gratitude as the day draws to a close. Finally, in the northern quadrant, deep blue and purple flowers reign. Night blooming cereus, indigo hyacinths, and violets whose colors evoke mystery, depth, and connection to the ancestors who watch silently through the veil of twilight. Here the air is cooler, imbued with a quiet solemnity that invites contemplation of the great unknown and the eternal cycles of life and death. Together, these four quadrants form a living mandala, a garden that is not only beautiful to behold but charged with spiritual significance. It is a microcosm of the universe, a sacred map that guides the soul through the cycles of birth, growth, decline, and renewal. Amidst this vibrant tapestry, hummingbirds dart with lightning speed, their iridescent feathers flashing emerald greens and ruby reds as they flit from flower to flower. Their wings beat so rapidly that they create a soft, almost musical humming, an enchanting sound that blends seamlessly into the natural symphony of the garden. These tiny birds are sacred to Huitzilopochtli, the mighty god of war and the sun, embodying his fiery spirit and relentless energy. Their slender, needle-like beaks seem perfectly designed to sip nectar from the tubular blossoms that burst with color and fragrance specifically for them. Watching their quick, graceful movements, you feel a sense of wonder at the intricate dance between nature and divinity. The temperature begins to cool gently as the sun sinks lower toward the horizon, but the stone terraces beneath your feet still hold the residual warmth of the day's heat. This lingering warmth rises softly through the cool evening air, creating a soothing contrast, like a comforting blanket wrapped around your shoulders as a gentle breeze caresses your face. It is a natural harmony of elements, a delicate balance between warmth and chill that invites you to relax deeper into this sacred space. As the light fades, torch-bearing servants quietly begin to light the ceremonial braziers placed at measured intervals throughout the gardens. The flames flicker and dance in the cool evening breeze, casting shifting shadows on the towering temple walls. These moving shadows seem to breathe life into the carved stone serpents and jaguars, transforming the garden into a realm suspended between worlds. The interplay of firelight and twilight weaves a veil of profound mystery, as though the boundary separating the mortal realm from the domain of the gods thins and grows permeable. You sense that the air itself hums with the presence of the divine, an almost tangible energy that fills every corner of the temple complex. Your gaze lifts to the terraces stretching upward along the sides of the pyramid. Each level holds its own distinct plantings, its own unique purpose within the grand cosmic design. Some terraces are devoted to medicinal herbs, fragrant sage, soothing mint, and powerful peyote. Plants believed to hold healing powers that mend both body and soul. Others are filled with flowers used in specific sacred rituals: vivid dahlias, fragrant copal trees, and delicate orchids, all cultivated with care for the ceremonies that connect heaven and earth. The highest terraces closest to the temple's peak are reserved for the most sacred plants, those held for the grandest rites and offerings, tended only by the most trusted priests who guard these precious gifts from the gods. As the evening deepens, rare night-blooming Sirius cacti begin to unfurl their magnificent flowers. These elusive blooms open only once a year, revealing petals the size of dinner plates that glisten like silk in the moonlight. Their fragrance is intense, almost intoxicating, a perfume so potent that it fills the entire garden complex. Tonight, you are blessed to witness this miracle of nature, a moment so sacred it seems suspended in time, a silent hymn to the mysteries of darkness and light. Suddenly, the deep, resonant notes of shell trumpets echo from the temple peak, announcing the commencement of the evening rituals. The sounds vibrate with a primal power, seeming to emerge from the very stones beneath your feet. Soon, other instruments join in. The haunting melodies of clay flutes and the steady heartbeat of wooden drums blend into a sacred harmony. The music flows through the gardens like a living presence, coaxing the flowers to sway gently as if moved by unseen hands, wrapping the entire scene in an ethereal embrace. In the shadows of a higher terrace, a family of ocelots pads silently among the plants. These spotted cats are sacred to Tezcatlipoca, the jaguar god, symbols of stealth, power, and transformation. Their sleek bodies move with measured grace as they hunt the small creatures that might threaten the delicate balance of the gardens. Their presence is both practical and symbolic, a reminder that beneath the refined beauty of civilization lies the wild, untamed force of nature, ever watchful and fiercely protective. Throughout the evening, the fountain's gentle murmur continues unabated, its voice shifting subtly with the changing light and your own deepening state of mind. In the heat of midday, its flowing water speaks of cool relief and restorative refreshment. Now, in the peaceful twilight, it whispers of rest, contemplation, and the promise of renewal with the coming dawn. The same water, the same steady stream, yet your perception bends and flows with the rhythms of light and spirit. Fireflies begin to emerge from the darkened recesses of the garden, their tiny bodies blinking on and off in delicate patterns that resemble secret signals. silent messages passed between earth and sky. Local children believe these glowing creatures carry the souls of ancestors, returning briefly to visit the world of the living. This thought wraps around you like a comforting cloak, filling your heart with warmth and a sense of sacred continuity. The priests continue their evening duties, but their movements grow quieter, more ritualized. When they speak, their voices are soft whispers, as if afraid to break the spell that the approaching night has woven around the gardens. Their gestures become more dance-like, fluid and purposeful, as though they themselves are drawn deeper into the sacred energy that fills the space. Some carry bundles of dried herbs, releasing fragrant smoke that drifts slowly upward, blending with the scent of copal incense and blooming flowers. These rising tendrils of fragrance fill the cool air, a fragrant prayer sent skyward to honor the gods and the ancestors. In this twilight sanctuary, every sound, every movement, every breath seems suffused with meaning. The gardens themselves breathe with life and spirit, a living temple where the natural world and the divine intersect. You feel your own heartbeat slow, your breathing deepen, as you sink further into the calm embrace of this sacred moment, a timeless space where beauty, ritual, and reverence unite in perfect harmony. The air around you is alive with an intricate, layered tapestry of scents. A complex bouquet woven from the fragrances of dozens of different plants and flowers carefully tended in this sacred garden. Some aromas are sweet and floral, delicate and inviting like the gentle caress of a lover's hand. The scent of jasmine curls softly on the evening breeze, mingling with the subtle perfume of freshly picked marigolds, sympathicil, their petals bright and golden like captured sunlight. Nearby, the heady aroma of lavender and rosemary rises from small clusters of medicinal herbs, their sharp, clear notes cutting through the softer floral sweetness with a refreshing clarity. Deeper in the shadows, earthier, more resinous scents mingle, dark hints of copal incense lingering like sacred smoke from ceremonial fires, wrapping the entire garden in a fragrant veil of devotion. The scent of damp soil, rich and loamy, rises from the fertile earth beneath your feet, reminding you of the endless cycles of growth, decay, and renewal that have shaped this land since time immemorial. This is a perfume that tells stories, not just of plants and flowers, but of the very essence of life itself. It is the scent of birth and death, of seasons turning like great wheels in the heavens, of eternal rhythms that pulse beneath the surface of all existence. As the last warm hues of sunlight slip below the western horizon, a cool hush falls over the garden. The sky overhead deepens to a velvet blue-black, and the first stars begin to glitter faintly like distant jewels scattered across the dome of night. You watch as one by one the constellations emerge, ancient patterns that have guided generations past through the cycles of planting and harvest, birth and ceremony. In this quiet, sacred moment, you feel yourself slowly dissolving into the rhythm of this timeless place, becoming one with the ancient flow of worship and reverence that has echoed here for countless generations. Your breathing naturally slows, deepening into long, even breaths that match the gentle tempo of the evening prayers. In the distance, the steady beat of drums vibrates through the air, a low, resonant pulse that seems to emanate from the very earth itself. Your heartbeat begins to synchronize with this ancient cadence, creating a harmony between body and spirit, self and cosmos. Each beat, each breath is a thread woven into the vast tapestry of life that stretches back through the ages, linking you to ancestors who stood here beneath these very stars, offering their devotion and gratitude. Beneath you, the stone terrace where your woven mat lies retains the gentle warmth of the day's sun, just enough to cradle you in comfort without overheating. The cooling evening air flows softly around you, carrying away the heat and tension that the day has brought. You feel your body releasing its burdens, each muscle relaxing in turn. From the tips of your toes to the crown of your head, the tightness in your shoulders melts away like morning mist under the sun's first rays. Your hands rest loosely at your sides, palms open and receptive to the sacred energy that flows freely through this place. You settle deeper into the profound peace that arises from being enveloped in a space steeped in the prayers and meditations of countless souls. A sanctuary where the divine presence feels tangible and near. Around you, the night-blooming flowers continue their delicate unfolding, petal by petal revealing shapes and colors that seem almost otherworldly in the soft darkness. These blossoms release their intoxicating fragrances into the cooling air, not overwhelming or heavy, but light and ethereal, lifting your senses upward, elevating your consciousness toward a higher plane. The pure sweetness of these perfumes seems to open a doorway within your mind, inviting you to glimpse the vast SOSM. I see order that enfolds all things, seen and unseen, living and eternal. The gardens, the temple, the sacred earth beneath your feet, all merge in this moment into a single living organism, vibrant and pulsating with divine life. As the evening deepens, the priest's chants gradually fade into a soft, distant murmur, then into complete silence, as if the very air holds its breath in reverence. The garden settles into a stillness so profound it seems to vibrate with quiet power. The only sounds are the gentle rustle of leaves stirred by the night breeze, the occasional flutter of a small night creature moving unseen, and the soft, rhythmic murmur of the fountain, its water whispering secrets from the sacred springs hidden deep within the earth. You feel your eyelids growing heavy under the weight of perfect contentment. The cares of the world slip away like shadows at dawn, replaced by a deep sense of belonging and peace. The temple gardens, with their ancient stones and sacred blooms, seem to wrap around you like a protective cloak woven from the blessings of the gods themselves. You are held in their embrace, safe, cherished, and renewed. As your body sinks into the soothing comfort of your mat, you drift gently towards sleep. Your breathing deepens, becoming slow and steady, a tranquil tide ebbing and flowing in harmony with the heartbeat of the earth. Your mind quiets, thoughts dissolving into a vast, restful calm. This sleep is no ordinary rest. It is a profound restoration, a healing immersion in the sacred cycles that govern life and spirit. You rest here, cradled by the fertile earth from which all sacred flowers grow, renewed by the ancient powers that flow through these hallowed gardens. And as you drift ever deeper into this restorative sleep, you are carried on the breath of the gods themselves, surrounded by the eternal peace and sacred beauty that define this timeless sanctuary. Your spirit is renewed, your body restored, and your soul bathed in the endless light of divine grace. Chapter 5: The Mountain Lake at Dawn. You slowly open your eyes and find yourself drifting gently on the tranquil waters of a high mountain lake, an isolated sanctuary cradled in the arms of towering peaks that rise sharply like dark obsidian spears, piercing the low-hanging clouds and reaching ambitiously toward the realm of the gods. The lake's surface is utterly still, a flawless mirror reflecting the soft rose and lavender hues of the pre-dawn sky. This perfect reflection creates a surreal illusion, as though you are suspended between two heavens, one above and one below, caught in a moment of delicate balance between earth and sky, reality and dream. The air here is thin, clean, and crystalline with the pure essence of high altitude. Each breath you draw fills your lungs with an invigorating freshness, carrying the subtle sense of pine resin, damp earth, and distant wildflowers that thrive in this rarefied environment. The coolness of the air brushes softly against your skin, a gentle reminder that you are surrounded by the majesty and solitude of these sacred mountains. Your small canoe drifts silently across the glassy surface of the lake. The only sounds are the faint splash of your paddles, which send out gentle ripples that expand in widening circles, momentarily disturbing the perfect reflection before the water smooths itself once more into undisturbed calm. The silence here is profound, an almost sacred stillness broken only by the distant, haunting call of an eagle soaring high above the craggy peaks. Its cry echoes through the valleys, bouncing softly off weathered stone walls that have been shaped by millennia of wind, rain, and ice. These surrounding mountains are ancient volcanoes, sleeping giants clad in dense forests of pine, fir, and oak. The deep greens rise in layered bands toward the snow line, where jagged rocks give way to glaciers and shimmering patches of eternal ice. Some peaks emit thin wisps of steam from hidden vents, subtle signs that the earth beneath still simmers quietly, alive with geological dreams. In secret valleys, hot springs bubble warmly beneath moss-covered stones, a hidden testament to the enduring power that shaped this wild, untamed landscape. The lake itself was born in the crater of one such extinct volcano, a vast caldera filled with water fed by underground springs emerging from the fiery heart of the mountain. Its waters are astonishingly clear, revealing depths that plunge into mysterious shadows below. Schools of native trout glide through the chilly liquid, their sleek silver bodies reflecting the soft light like fleeting spirits of the deep. They move with slow, deliberate grace, embodying the calm wisdom and patience that define this high sanctuary. Along the rugged shoreline, mighty awi-wadi trees rise to majestic heights. Their ancient trunks bear the scars of countless lightning strikes, avalanches, and storms. Yet they stand firm, resilient and enduring through the centuries. Draped with curtains of silvery Spanish moss that sway gently in the mountain breeze, these colossal trees seem to wear the wisdom of the ages like the beards of forgotten gods. Their branches stretch outward and upward, reaching skyward as if to touch the heavens and bridge the realms of earth and spirit. The water itself is cool, refreshing, but never harsh. It carries a faint mineral taste, the subtle hint of its long journey through layers of volcanic rock and deep underground caverns. You dip your fingers beneath the surface, feeling the silky smoothness and the gentle pull of hidden currents beneath the crystalline sheet. This water is said to possess healing properties, purifying body and soul alike. As it flows over your skin, you feel it drawing out impurities, soothing every muscle, erasing fatigue and tension as though the mountain itself is offering a sacred cleansing. Nearby, a great blue heron stands perfectly still in the shallows, its slender legs half submerged as it surveys the water with patient, unwavering focus. The bird's reflection forms a perfect twin on the mirror-like lake, a symbol of stillness and vigilance. The heron embodies the quiet patience of the mountains, unhurried, watchful, wise, willing to wait for hours in serene contemplation before making the decisive strike. Its presence deepens the sense of timeless tranquility that surrounds you, a living emblem of the harmony between nature and spirit. Toward the eastern horizon, the highest peaks begin to glow faintly with the first light of dawn. It is not yet the sun itself, but the subtle promise of its arrival, a gentle illumination that seems to radiate from within the volcanic glass embedded in the mountain faces. This early light breathes softly into the stone, as if the mountains themselves are awakening from their slumber, inhaling the day's first breath and exhaling whispers of ancient power. The air shimmers faintly with this quiet energy, suffusing the entire landscape with a sense of sacred renewal. From the surface of the lake, delicate wisps of mist begin to rise, curling and twisting in the cool morning air. These ephemeral columns drift lazily upward, dissolving into the clarity of the high atmosphere like fleeting spirits escaping into the sky. The mist softens the edges of the world, blurring the boundary between water and air, as though you are no longer floating on a lake, but in a cloud itself, weightless, drifting between worlds. Far above, great condors ride the thermal currents that sweep upward from the sun-warmed valleys below. These magnificent birds, with wingspans that can reach 10 feet or more, glide effortlessly on invisible air currents, barely moving their broad, powerful wings. Sacred to the Aztec people, condors symbolize the profound connection between earth and sky, the mortal realm and the divine domain of the gods. Their slow, graceful patrols across the vast mountain wilderness remind you of the eternal watchfulness of nature and spirit. The dense forest surrounding the lake hums softly with the subtle sounds of early morning life. The gentle rustle of pine needles stirred by the breeze blends with the faint chirping of unseen songbirds, while the soft scurry of small mammals through underbrush adds a delicate rhythm to the awakening world. The cool, fragrant air carries hints of wildflowers tucked beneath the trees, the occasional burst of bright color teasing the eye. Every leaf, every stone, every breath of wind feels alive, part of a vast and intricate web of life that thrives in this remote mountain sanctuary. As you continue to drift slowly across the lake's serene surface, you notice the intricate patterns of light and shadow created by the interplay of dawn's first rays and the towering trees lining the shore. Shafts of golden sunlight pierce through gaps in the branches, illuminating delicate spiderwebs glistening with dew. These tiny jewels sparkle like fragments of starlight caught in the waking world, and you feel a profound sense of awe at the simple, quiet beauty of nature's artistry. In the distance, you glimpse a family of deer cautiously emerging from the forest edge. Their soft, graceful forms move with cautious curiosity as they approach the water to drink, their gentle steps barely disturbing the fragile peace of the morning. Watching them, you feel a deep kinship with these wild beings, shared guardians of this sacred place, each living in harmony with the rhythms of mountain and sky. The cold, pure water laps softly against the sides of your canoe, a gentle percussion that complements the distant melody of the awakening forest. You close your eyes for a moment, breathing in the fresh mountain air, allowing your mind to settle and your heart to open. You are held here in this moment between night and day, earth and sky, rest and renewal, a place where the spirit can find refuge and strength. As the sun finally breaches the horizon, flooding the world with warm, golden light, you feel yourself lifted along with it. The shadows retreat. The lake glows with a newfound brilliance, and the mountains stand proudly bathed in dawn's radiant embrace. The silence is now filled with the vibrant sounds of life fully awakened, birds singing their morning songs, insects buzzing among wildflowers, and the distant roar of a waterfall cascading down rocky cliffs. This mountain lake at dawn is more than a place. It is a living sanctuary, a sacred space where the earth's ancient energies converge, and where the soul can reconnect with the enduring beauty and mystery of the natural world. You feel renewed, restored, and deeply grateful to be a part of this eternal cycle. As your canoe continues its gentle drift, You look toward the mountains beyond, ready to explore what other wonders this sacred highland realm might reveal. You gently steer your canoe toward the shore, where towering mountain trees cast cool shadows over the water's surface. The glossy green pine needles sway softly in the morning breeze, their rustling sound like a whispered secret echoing through the silent mountain air. Shafts of golden sunlight pierce through the branches, touching wildflowers that bloom in vibrant colors, flowers that have flourished here for millennia, holding the earth's ancient mysteries within their delicate petals. With each breath, you feel the deep calm of this place seep into your being, washing away any tension or worry carried from the daily world. Here, time seems to lose its meaning. Past, present, and future blend into a single eternal moment. The songs of mountain birds echo through the valleys like a tender melody, lifting your spirit higher with every note. Beside you, the clear, cool water continues its silent flow, each drop carrying memories of fiery earth and ancient rains. This water is healing, cleansing both body and soul. You sense yourself connecting with an endless source of life and energy, where all creatures live in perfect harmony. The sun slowly rises higher, its golden rays embracing the peaks. The sky brightens, painting new colors onto the canvas of nature. The morning mist lifts, revealing the path ahead, an invitation to discover new wonders and embrace fresh experiences. As this chapter of your dreamlike journey comes to a close, take a moment to hold this peace and beauty deep within your heart. These stories are not just tales of nature and ancient culture. They are reminders for us to never forget the calm and connection that exist all around us. Thank you so much for joining me on this tranquil and imaginative voyage. If you enjoyed these stories and want to continue exploring soothing, immersive worlds, please hit the like button and subscribe to the Story to Sleep channel to receive new relaxing tales every week. Wishing you sweet and restful dreams. Until we meet again.